Hey, how's it going guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now before we get into today's video, I just wanted to take a quick minute to talk about something. Now at the time of me recording this, I'm about 3 subscribers away from hitting 100, which is pretty crazy. I honestly thought I would never make it even past 10, so this is pretty crazy. Now I wanted to ask you guys what you guys thought I should do for a 100 subscriber special. If you guys have any opinions on it, please let me know. I was planning on doing some subscriber battles where pretty much I would go ahead and add some of you guys on my friends list on my Switch. And then I would go ahead and record some battle with some of you guys and upload that as a 100 sub special. So please let me know down below in the comments if you would like to be a part of that, or if you have any interest in that, or if you have any other suggestions at all, just go ahead and drop in the comments below please. Now with that being said, let's go ahead and get into today's video. Now today's video is a Krookodile sweep as suggested by the comment section on my previous video. Now Krookodile is a very solid Pokemon all around. It has pretty good stats, especially in a great attack stat, decent speed, decent bulk, and actually a pretty good health stat. So this is the Krookodile I'm going to be running today. It's an Adamant Nature Krookodile with max EVs in attack and speed, and it has the Moxie ability. Now for item choice, I would recommend the weakness policy since it does have quite a few weaknesses that you can take advantage of. Now for the moveset, I'm going to be running Close Combat, Bulk Up, Earthquake, and Outrage. So this is definitely a very hyper offensive set. So I hope you guys do enjoy the video today. If you do, be sure to like and subscribe, and as always, if you want to suggest something, drop it in the comments, especially about that 100 sub special. Please let me know in the comments. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into some battles, you guys. Hope you guys enjoy, and let's get into it. Alrighty guys, so let's go ahead and get into the battle right here. Now here I'm going to be leading off with my Skarmory. As you guys know, he's my preferred entry hazard setter. So my opponent's going to lead off with a Cinderace, and I'm obviously going to lead off with Skarmory as I mentioned earlier. Now Cinderace is definitely dangerous right here. It does have a huge type advantage over my Skarmory, but thankfully Skarmory is incredibly bulky, so I was pretty confident I could survive at least one hit from it, so I go ahead and go for the Stealth Rock. The Cinderace fires off a Pyro Ball, and my Skarmory does manage to hang on, and it's going to kick in my red card and get rid of this Cinderace from the field. And out comes the Dragapult. Now Dragapult is extremely speedy, but I am going to be able to get my Stealth Rock up, so that's okay. So next turn I was expecting this Dragapult to pretty much KO my Skarmory. I knew my Skarmory was pretty much done here, so I just go for the first layer of spikes to see if I could somehow get it up. The Dragapult goes for a Flamethrower, and it KOs my Skarmory. So now I'm going to go ahead and switch into my Ribombee. My Ribombee is extremely good for setting up Sticky Web and getting some speed control in the field. And it is incredibly fast, probably even faster than Dragapult, so I was pretty confident I could at least get the Sticky Web on the field before my Ribombee went down, especially since it is Focus Sash. But my opponent actually ends up switching out the Dragapult right here and actually switches into a Solgaleo. So I am going to be able to get that Sticky Web on the field, which is very nice. So my Sticky Web fires off. And here I'm going to go ahead and set up some Tailwind. And my Tailwind's going to get off, so for the next couple of turns, my Pokemon will be pretty fast and be able to outspeed most of my opponents. The Solgaleo goes for the Sunsteel Strike, which is going to do some massive damage here on my Ribombee. But I am Focus Sash right here, so I do hang on, but pretty much here my Ribombee had already done everything I wanted it to do, so I was ready for it to get KO'd, so I just go ahead and just go for the Stun Spore, waiting for the KO to happen. My Stun Spore actually ended up missing, which is okay. The Solgaleo goes for an Earthquake and it kills my Ribombee right here. But that's fine because Ribombee already served its purpose. So now I'm going to go ahead and switch into the Polteageist, although I did consider my options here for a little while. So here I go into the Polteageist. Now here I had a few options. I could have tried to go for the Shell Smash strategy, but Krookodile's defenses, they're decent, but they're definitely not the best in the world, so I didn't want to risk baton passing into it and it getting potentially one hit KO'd before it can even have a chance to start sweeping. So I actually go for the memento here to drop whatever my opponent has out stats. So my opponent actually ends up withdrawing the Solgaleo, and he's actually going to go into the Roserade. But that's fine because it didn't matter what was on the field, its attack is going to get dropped tremendously thanks to my memento. So my memento fires off, and my opponent's special attack and attack are going to get dropped immensely. And my Polteageist is obviously going to faint from this, but that's fine. So now it's finally time for my Krookodile to come out, and I was pretty confident here. So I go ahead and switch in my Krookodile and I attempt to get this sweep going. So now that my Krookodile is on the field, I'm immediately going to go ahead and Dynamax and fire off a Max Quake and try to get this Roserade off the field. So my Dynamax Krookodile is going to come out. Now here my opponent actually ended up Dynamaxing his Roserade as well, which is pretty interesting. I thought he was more than likely going to switch out because I had dropped his attack tremendously, but interestingly enough, he actually ended up Dynamaxing his Roserade, which in my opinion was a pretty bad mistake. So Dynamax Roserade comes out. I fire off that Max Quake and it's going to hit and do some massive damage on the Roserade. And the Roserade goes for Max Starfall. But my Krookodile tanks it tremendously well, and it's going to go ahead and kick in my weakness policy, giving me a +2 in both my attack and special attack. So next turn this Roserade is pretty much going to get one hit KO'd. And now the setup for the sweep is pretty much complete, and I was pretty confident I could go ahead and sweep my opponent's entire team. So I go for another Max Quake. My second Max Quake fires off, and it KOs this Roserade, so that's one down. And now with this KO, my Mox is going to kick in and give me another attack boost. So here my Moxie kicks in and gives me that attack boost, so now I have +3 in attack and I'm going to be hitting like a truck. And thanks to Sticky Web on the field and Stealth Rock, I'm pretty much guaranteed to almost KO whatever my opponent switches into. So my opponent ends up switching in a Mewtwo, which takes some damage from the Stealth Rocks coming in, as well as lose some of its speed thanks to Sticky Web. So here I check all my moves, and I end up going for the third Max Quake to KO this Mewtwo. It fires off, and it one hit KOs the Mewtwo, so that's 2 down. And my Moxie kicks in once again. Now my opponent switches into a Tyranitar. Now the Tyranitar is extremely powerful. It's a very powerful Pokemon, but it will be taking some damage and losing speed as everything else. And as long as I outspeed, I should be able to KO it with an Earthquake, because my Dynamax turns do run out here, so I'm reduced to my normal moves. So I go ahead and go for the Earthquake. I do outspeed, I fire off that Earthquake, and the Tyranitar is going to go down right here, so that's 3. So at this point, half of my opponent's team has already been KO'd, and I have quite a few Moxie boosts, so I'm going to be hitting like a truck no matter what's left. So I was pretty confident right here. So now my opponent switches into the Solgaleo. But notice how the Solgaleo doesn't lose any speed from Sticky Web, so I knew the Solgaleo more than likely was holding Air Balloon, so Earthquake wasn't going to be able to hit right here. So I actually ended up going for the close combat, hoping that it was enough to KO this Solgaleo in one hit. And just as I thought, since Sticky Web didn't kick in, the Solgaleo is going to outspeed me right here. It fires off a Sunsteel Strike, which had me pretty nervous. And my Krookodile actually manages to hang on with 5 health. I fire off the close combat, and it kills the Solgaleo, so that's 4 down. And Moxie kicks in once again. So now my opponent's down to his final 2 Pokemon, and as long as they aren't flying types, and as long as I can outspeed them, I should be able to complete the sweep successfully. Now he switches back into the Cinderace. Now Cinderace is very fast, but as long as it gets caught in that Sticky Web, I should be able to outspeed and KO. So here I go for a second close combat. My close combat fires off and it KOs the Cinderace, so that's 5 down. And now my opponent's pretty much down to his last Pokemon right here, which is pretty nice. So now my opponent switches into Dragapult, which is his last Pokemon. Again, a very solid Pokemon, extremely powerful and very, very fast, so it still had the potential to actually outspeed my Krookodile here, even with the Sticky Web. So I go ahead and go for the Outrage, hoping to KO it. My Outrage actually does fire off first. It hits the Dragapult and it KOs it. So that's 6 down and I complete the sweep. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe, and like I mentioned earlier, if you have any suggestions for the 100 sub special, please let me know in the comments below. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, and peace.